welcome to Things. I'm Rob Norman, a teacher and a filmmaker.
I'm Cole Jackson, I don't even know how to say that word. No, I'm just going to not say it. Entrepreneur. That's what we're going to say.
I thought you were going to say flamboyant. I was like, not really.
No.
You're kind of not flamboyant. Entrepreneur?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
And we have a guest here today.
Yeah, I'm Rick Baker, R.D. Baker Photos.
Okay, and Rick's photographer. And so we're going to talk about things, various things. And today, particularly, we're going to talk about what drives us to create and why we do what we do, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
So
Sounds good.
I think, yeah.
I'm just going to sit here and watch the two of y'all.
Okay. So I've always been a creator. I've always liked to build things and make things, whether it was I create with wood, my very first shop class, learned how to build speaker boxes, and I turned that into some profit, made some money building speaker boxes for my friends. But I really like the creation part, and the audio part and things like that. So I guess it's always driven to be a creator of some sort, hopefully for the positive. I don't know. I don't think things negative. I think that, and then I love to watch people grow. Like when I've shown them how to do something, they really take it and do something, make it their own.
Yeah,
and I guess that's the teacher side of me. And I didn't know that I liked doing that until I was teaching for a while. So it wasn't like, hey, I want to do this because of that. So, but yeah, I think that's kind of the base of what drives me on a daily to get out of bed, pick up a camera, or to go to the studio, or to do this and try something new.
Yeah,
is
pure hate drives me to get out
pure
of bed.
hate.
Hate for my enemies.
I think that when it's all said and done, we are what we made when we were here, and I'd like to think that I want to do something positive, even though
I think about that a lot too.
Yeah, do you
about legacy?
Yeah, because I look at my kids and I know that's my legacy.
I mean, because in the end of the day, or at the end of your whatever 75, 100 years, you're going to be 6 foot under in a box, right? But you can have stuff up here still that people can
actually.
Look at.
I don't think I want anybody to have to carry my body out. So
well,
I'm just going to go ahead and get cremated. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I hate to think of
fine.
somebody my ex-students breaking their back trying to carry me and making fun of me the entire
I'm not
time.
carrying you.
Oh, absolutely not.
I'll be
you're
there.
Basically a hobbit.
I'll be there if I'm not dead first.
I want you to do the eulogy.
The eulogy.
Yes.
First burial with 10 pallbearers.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, maybe
Well, the casket will be
16.
big enough to suit them. So no, we're not doing that. I have to buy 2 plots. I'm not. I'm out. That's too much money. I'm also really cheap. So.
Yeah.
If I'm paying, I'm really cheap. If somebody else is paying, I'm in. That's the way I roll. So,
See, I'm not creative.
I don't know about
That's
that.
a take.
No.
All right, here we go.
When you talk about building wood boxes and your ability to do things around the house, help your kids do things, that's not me. I'm not a handyman. I'm not a fixer. I, myself, just have a desire to enjoy something, but become as good as I possibly can at whatever it is that I do.
Yeah.
In this case right now, photography, I love. And I've taken my niche for photography, like you, and inspired by some of the things that you do, Rob, for films, in the fact that I want to do video. I'm trying to take my photography sessions and turn them into video. But yet I don't know how to go about creating what I'm looking for. I know what I want, but I don't know how to go about doing it.
You don't know how to get there.
It's kind of hard to do when you just have a work crew of your family that neither one wants to be there.
Yeah.
That I completely understand. That's tough. I get that every day.
You need a crew, but your business is so small you can't afford it, and then you've got
Exactly.
a wife
That's kinda
and
where
a
I am, too.
16-year-old kid that doesn't want anything to do with you. It's hard to get them out there to
No, I understand.
fly the drone or operate the video camera while you're messing with the camera.
But yet, if I invited your kid, he'd be down to help me.
That's
it's
what
infuriating.
gets me. Yeah.
Like anytime I'm like, "Hey, Addie, let's do this," he's like, "Let's go." He doesn't hesitate. But I know it's the same way. It's just like
He enjoys you. He sends me a text the other day in the middle of school. Look what Rob got today. Come on. It's just some ND filters, but no, Rob got these.
Yeah.
These are cool.
Just indie filters.
I try to teach him what an ND filter can do. Here, let's go out and do this.
Yeah.
He's not interested.
Not interested.
But
Yeah.
Rob for Films gets some in the mail.
Just
He wants to send his dad a text and say, here.
probably like $5.
I may
indie
have
filters.
provoked that text. Hey, send this to your dad. So I think that might be why maybe he did that.
Wait, was it that nice one you got in the case?
The
Okay.
Peter McKinnon
It
one.
was just Polar Pro.
Yeah. So I mean, it's got a nice case.
Yeah,
I'll give you
that was my point. Is the case looked really, really nice. If you saw that casing, like that was putting Apple to shame, in the way they're packaging things.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat looking. But and so getting people around you motivated to help, that's a big part. I could probably send you my kids, and they'd probably rather work for you than me. So I mean, that's just the way. It's just the way that works. And Cole, being a former student, I mean, he knows that the things that we've done and the things we've created and we've been very successful is really on the back of a few. Many benefited. Many benefited, but a few kids are the ones that drive. Especially. Yeah, still, I mean, it's a few kids that drive the entire show, and then everybody else just kind of fills in where they can to be part of it. But
it's hard to get people to fill in. Like, people don't want to fill in either.
Yeah, people don't.
Crazy.
I mean, kids. Grown-ups, I can't get people to work anymore, and that's a problem.
That was probably my biggest gripe with school in general, is that people can be really successful here, and they have the tools to do it. They just
choose not
to. Yeah. It's not even drive. It's just that they just don't want to. I guess they just don't want success or something, or they see success and they think, oh, I can't do that, so I might as well just not even try.
But let me ask you this question. Is that tied into... Rob was talking a while ago about his lack for Facebook right now. Mm-hmm. Is some of that maybe driven from kids today? There are those out there that enjoy the Facebook and the publicities and the Instagrams and et cetera. But there's those that don't want to deal with the negativity, like Rob was talking about earlier. Do you think that stops them from participating in certain things because everybody's got a camera these days in their phones?
For me, I think it's I think it's more the opposite of that. For especially my generation, people want to be the next Kim Kardashian or something. So they want that, but then they don't want to put in the effort.
They don't want to get up at 3 a.m.
person.
to put their makeup on.
Yeah, so, I mean, everybody wants to be the next $1 billion person for whatever reason. But
yeah, I don't think that's right either, Rick. I think
kids,
I'm looking at that.
They thrive on the negativity. They want the spotlight, but they don't know how to get it, or they don't want to work for it.
This is what I see. I'll see kids that'll come into my class and say, hey, I'm going to be a next YouTube star. And I think to myself, well, you know what? I have all the equipment here to make that happen. Let me help you. And so I'll get them in there, and we'll start working on it. Mm-hmm. And then they'll do one partial video, realize how much work it is, and they're like, forget that. I'm changing something else. They don't realize that they see those YouTubers that go out there, and some of them don't have a lot of video skills, but they have something interesting, a story to tell.
Yeah.
And they don't realize those stories aren't necessarily just there. Those people have to go and create those ideas, and you have to cultivate that. It doesn't just happen. I mean, you can't just have an unlimited amount of stories without thinking about them. You're going to have interesting content. And when they realize you really have to work, or their lives aren't that interesting, I'm sure some people probably are just rich and they have extravagant lives and they travel everywhere. Well, it's hard to be a travel vlogger if you can't afford to travel.
Yeah, that's true.
And so it's one of those things. And so when they realize that their lives aren't really as interesting, they're going to have to try to create something else. It's too much effort.
Another thing I figured out too in high school very early is that, I mean, I would say I was pretty successful in high school.
Definitely. What were you ranked in class?
Number 1. Yeah. But that took work to get to.
I was letting you flex.
That took work to get to.
No, it did. You worked very hard.
And there was a lot of smart people in the class, much smarter than I was, but I just worked harder.
You worked harder than them.
Yeah. I mean, there are geniuses in my class that I can't even hold a pencil to, but they wouldn't want to do the work for it. But besides that, like what I noticed a lot in high school was that some people would like look at me and be like, think I could probably do no wrong. And like, they're just like, I could never reach that status. Like, I'm not Cole or whatever. But what they don't understand is that I failed a lot.
Absolutely.
Like, there was some stuff I turned in for you, especially, that's just not good. Like, I did a lot of not good work out there. And so I think when they fail, or when someone fails, they think, oh, I can never be good anymore. I mean, I failed probably thousands of times. I'm still failing to this day.
Here's the thing.
I go through that now.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, absolutely, we all do. Yeah.
And I have to admit that sometimes it is hard to pick oneself up and try to find that determination to overcome that failure.
Yeah.
And try to turn that failure into a success. Now, we all know you have to do that because you're going to fail numerous times before you're ever successful. But sometimes it is hard.
So I'm going to take it back to the education standpoint, which I wasn't really focusing on today, but it keeps coming up in that way because we keep talking about kids. Something that I do that some of the administrators in the past have really, really thought was unique, and I don't think it's that way at all, is that I try to teach kids that it's okay to fail. And to not accept failure.
Well, kids need to be taught that too.
Yeah, it's okay to do it, but don't accept it as the final.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you got to keep trying. And so what I do is, and this kids get freaked out when they first get in my class, and they're like, hey, what's the deal here? I just turned in this project. It's complete trash. And
Yeah.
I just want to move on to the next project. And I said, no, we're going to listen to it. We're going to watch it. And then I'll give it back to them. And I said, all right, these are areas that you need to fix. And they're like, I got to redo it. And I'm like, yeah, you need to fix these things right here. You're not done yet. And they're like, but I already turned it in. I'm like, that was round 1. And so it takes me a semester for new kids to get that that's the way I run things. It's not over. I did that. It's because like you're in class, you take a test. That's the end of it. Well, then you
Well, that's
move on
how
to the next
education
thing.
is.
Well, what you
Which is
didn't.
terrible, in my
Everything we
opinion.
do is building. You can't move on to the next thing until you get the last thing down. You can't build up. And so once they realize, and I don't give them a bad grade for that first round. They turn in the first round. I mean, they're going to get an A probably.
Yeah.
And they're like, but it was terrible. I'm like, yeah, for the first round. But so improve it. The second round, you can get another 100. And so once they get that mindset to keep doing it, suddenly their first round starts looking better because they've learned, what not to do and what to do.
Yeah.
But I think also from the education standpoint, and I was talking to Cole and some other former students last night, what I've learned over the years is me growing as a teacher. And I didn't do this when I had them, but I do now. I'm kind of hard on them, and because when I critique, I mean it. I'm tough. But what I try to do for some students, and like Cole, he's the kind of guy he could take my criticism and he can make it a positive thing. Some of the kids can't do that. And
I need criticism.
Yeah,
I need criticism.
I strive on
to
it as well.
Improve.
When people give me a thumbs down on my video, I'm okay with that. I don't care.
I mean, if
I
you're
don't like it.
if you're not telling me, if I mess up and you're not telling me what I did wrong, you're not helping me.
Right. Absolutely.
And like kids can't take that sometimes.
Right. And so this is what
But
I do.
I need it.
I call it the Oreo sandwich method. Okay.
Oh, yeah. The
I
Oreo
give
method.
me talking about this last night. So basically I will give them something positive. And I will say, hey man, you finished that on time. That's awesome. I said, I really like to see you work on this, but you know what you did really well? You did this, whatever it is. And if I give them kind of a positive, something a little negative that they can work on, and then something positive, they eat that up just like it's an Oreo. And they're
Yeah.
like, okay, and they'll go work. But if I just go, hey, you screwed this up, need you to fix it, I could do that to Cole. He'll come back with something great.
See,
but
and
yeah,
I
the
find
rest of
that
the
that's
kids won't.
right.
I find that's true. That's true for me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if it's true for me, it's true for others. But I have a hard time listening to the negative. But at the same time, it challenges me to improve upon the negative and make it a little bit better. I'm going through that right now. I just showed y'all something that new programs out there in photo editing. And people were saying, well, the colors are off. And they were. When you actually look at it, the colors are off. And to a good eye in photography, you're saying, well, you've got that blurred background, but the new cloud level is very focused. It needs to be blurred more. And then you sit back and you take that negative, and they just tore my picture apart.
Yeah.
But yet, if you go back and you do the corrections, you're going to wind up with a better product when it's all over said and done with, at least improved.
And especially if it's coming from people that know what they're talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, some people, everybody's got an idea. You got to take that with a grain of salt too sometimes, because sometimes people will offer me a suggestion. I'm like, I just completely disagree with you, and I'm not changing the way I do it because I think I'm doing it right.
Well, if you ever think that you know everything.
Yeah, but I
there's
never
a
think I know
problem.
You're in trouble. Yeah.
Well, I'm a truck driver by trade, and I used to train drivers out on the road. And I would tell the new drivers, whenever you think you know everything about truck driving, that's when you want to retire and get away from the wheel, because that's when you're going to cause an accident and that's when you're going to kill somebody.
Absolutely.
So you have to have that mentality that you can always be taught and always learn. So
Yeah. Very, very true.
sorry, I took the subject the wrong way.
No, you're fine.
You took it. I mean, that's what we're here for. We're taking it to what I keep talking about teaching, and it really was going to focus on filmmaking, and that's fine because that's what we do.
With me, I feel like too. I mean, Rick, I'm gonna plug you for a minute. You just showed us that great photo. You told us it was basically the whole sky was white. It was whited out.
Yeah, washed out.
Washed out. And then you fixed it, and then I can look at that photo and be like, yeah, that's amazing. But like if I did that same thing with that photo, I would still be like, I hate this. Like I don't think I've ever been satisfied with anything that I've ever made. Like I have an idea of what it's supposed to look like, and then it doesn't turn out that way.
See, I need that drive.
Yeah, and that's the drive that I have as well. That's why Cole and I think relate really well.
I could make
I'm never happy with anything.
Avengers Endgame, and I would hate it.
Yeah.
That's just who I am.
That's what I need, because I can look at something and say, I'm satisfied with that because it looks so much better than it did originally.
I think a lot of it's to do with my insecurity
I need to be able
too.
to take it further, challenge myself.
Okay, so for me, I think the hardest thing, like when I started creating my channel, was I knew it wasn't finished. I knew it was my try one, but I didn't. You can't just keep changing it as you go. You never move on. And so my hardest thing was to say, hey, I know this isn't perfect, but I'm going to release it anyway because it's it's as good as it's going to get. It's just YouTube.
Yeah.
It's not it's not a multi-million-dollar film. It's just something that I put out there, and people were going to still benefit from it. They were going to benefit more from me releasing it, with me not being 100% happy with it, versus me never releasing it. No one benefits at all.
Yeah.
Including myself. And so I think that was tough for me because having that kind of drive that Cole and I have, that we want everything, it's tough, and it eats at us a lot.
I mean, I'm not a perfectionist.
Yeah. I mean, you just know. But if somebody else did the same thing you did, you'd be like, "Hey, good job."
I'd be like, "Yeah, that's great."
You'd mean that. But for you, you're like, "I could do better."
I could do the exact same thing as him, and I'd be like, "This is the worst thing I've ever put out in my life."
You can say you're not a perfectionist, but you have high expectations of yourself more than others. And so that's kind of a perfectionist.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, you're maybe not OCD about it, but you're kind of a perfectionist.
Yeah, I guess so.
You have to accept that too. The hardest thing for me was accept that I was an artist.
An artist? Yeah. I don't think I wouldn't ever call myself an artist.
You wouldn't, but I will call you an artist, Cole. You're definitely an artist. And it was hard for me. I've only started calling myself an artist the last year of my life, and it's because when I think of an artist, I think of somebody that can draw, paint, sculpt, and somebody that's like amazing.
Well, I think of like John Legend or something.
Yeah, sure, and also musicians and things like that, and acting, being a great actor, like that's being on the stage. That's an amazing art to have. I never really thought of what I did as art, but it really is because
Did
all
you
art
do
is
drama in school.
I was in one act play. I did one act play, and I think that was really therapeutic for me because you can get on the stage and be somebody else, and so it was kind of like a break from myself.
Yeah. And you didn't think you were good enough, and either did your director, so it was perfect.
No, yeah, I mean, I was never good enough.
Yeah, no, I know the feeling. I was under the same director, and she drove me to. I wouldn't be here today probably if it wasn't for her.
I mean, all of my characters are total opposites of me.
Are we speaking of Miss Carla?
Yes.
Yeah. And,
yes.
And I'll plug that. I mean,
she's a legend. I'm not
she's
gonna
a
lie to
legend,
you.
and Cole and I both love her.
Yeah.
And we've been angry at her, and we've wanted to strangle her and throttle her a few times, but
taught by her.
we were.
Yeah.
We were both. Yeah.
Say,
she's been doing this for a long time.
Age difference. She was one of my classmates.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Her. She was in my class of '79.
She's always told us that she was never a person in high school. She was into sports.
She was in sports. Yeah, she was into sports and like skiing, and she was like all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah, so it's just interesting.
She
where you
changed
get
a lot.
She played basketball, volleyball.
Yeah. She's the most dramatic person I've ever met, and I'm including my children in that.
She's something else.
Man.
She's also right now. The cool thing is that she's been directing my daughter at the middle school for the last 3 years, and so I just it's kind of neat that she's getting that same experience. And I warned Keegan and I was like, she's tough. I mean, she's gonna bust you pretty good. She's gonna be on you. And after having me as a father, Keegan's like, she just kind of reminds me of an older version of you. I'm like, I'm gonna take that as a huge compliment.
We talked about this last night though, that we needed her, I guess, in terms of like her criticism and stuff like that.
I needed it.
And building us up, I guess.
Yeah.
Because if you can't take her criticism, I mean, the world's gonna be.
And I'm gonna say,
pretty hard for you.
For you, man, like you're as a student, you were such a better kid than I was. I was the Kieran.
Yeah.
I was the one that, I mean, we have his classmate named Kieran, and Kieran's really kind of getting his stuff together now mostly, but when he was a student, I mean, he was super intelligent, but just super flaky and didn't really care about grades. I was that kid. And if I tell my children that, they freak out. They're like, no way, because I'm so driven now. I was not driven. I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Are you OCD?
I was very creative. I would say that I've made myself OCD just so I can get things done, because I know things need to get done, but I'm again, using the word artist, artistically minded, and so I flake out sometimes, and I don't. I'm too busy creating like little worlds in my head or something that I'm going to be doing later that I don't always focus on the here and now. So I have to force myself to be super anal about certain things so that everything gets done. Like you can ask the attendance people right now. I'm the worst about putting in attendance because we come in and we just go to work and start making things, and I forget.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, I've got daily duties I have to do every day. I mean, and
Just
so
the little things.
People got to get paid. You got to have kids here to get paid. So it's little things like that are hard for me. But no, I wasn't that person, and she helped me become a little more driven, even though I would say even by graduation I wasn't where I am now, and I'm probably still not where you were in 5th grade, Cole. I mean, like you're just that kid that you carried your classes.
I just never wanted to fail.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate failure, but I fail all the time.
No, I didn't care either. Failure was just I wasn't even a word in my vocabulary. I didn't know what it was called. I just knew it wasn't a big deal.
I never had the drive to be the best. I just didn't want to be the worst.
Yeah, and so like my dad had a few really good things that he said. He said, I'm not going to force you to do anything, but if you start something, you're going to finish it.
Yeah.
And I've kept that with my own kids, and it's infuriating. But he wouldn't let me quit. And so thanks, Dad. Appreciate that.
Shout out to Dad.
Yeah, shout out to Dad. He's a bit crazy, but he never let me quit. And so, and I think there's too much of that right now in society. Too many people quit. People that could be talented, that could do something amazing.
Well, if you're not handing out participation trophies.
Yeah, well, and I think that's the other thing too. Don't get me started on participation. We
let's
throw those out the window.
Let's avoid the political side of all of this because we're all probably thinking and looking in the same direction.
Yeah.
And have some of the same thoughts.
Yeah, probably.
But we would upset a lot of other people out there.
Yeah, probably. Probably
Yeah.
so.
This is challenging. How do you guys, we're here talking about what drives us, ambitions,
Sure.
things. How do you guys find and manage time?
Very poorly.
You, Rob.
I don't sleep.
You, Cole. You're out last night. You're out ghost hunting. You're finding time. You're getting with other adults, students, etc. You're going to go out and you're going to do something. Now, had everything worked out well, there's going to be a video coming out about that.
Well, yeah, 95% of it's probably unusable.
We did not have a great night last night as far as video went, but we had a blast hanging out.
Yeah.
But it was intended to be a video.
Yeah, and it probably
When you guys go out and do
we'll
that,
use it for something.
So there's the edit time involved with that.
Yes.
In all of it. In the meantime, you're back in here the next morning. You're doing a podcast. There's edit time involved. There's family times that's got to be done. There's school things that's got to be done for Cole. Rob's got teaching responsibilities.
Yeah,
you're in the middle of doing animation projects and things like that.
Yeah,
with your students
currently working on 3 UIL films. So yeah, that's busy.
How do y'all? I'm sitting here today going, okay, this is fun. I'm having a good time doing a podcast, but I did a photo shoot last night. How in the heck am I going to get all these photos edited?
No, I know.
I mean,
and I've got another one tonight that I've got to get done.
I don't know that I'm a good example of this because I have about 15 videos on a hard drive right now that I need to edit.
Time's probably my worst enemy.
It is,
to be honest with you.
The production is so much fun, but the post production, which I also enjoy post production when I have time for it, gets put on the back burner. And so sometimes when I release a video,
that's me.
I might have done it 3 months ago, but they don't know that. I mean, unless I'm outside, they won't know unless the weather's changed. They're not going to know how long ago that was. And so I just sell it like it was yesterday,
My biggest problem is that I can never have like an empty plate. I always have to have a full plate. So I have to be working on something.
You take on too much like I do.
All the time. And that can be difficult for some people because, I lose time with friends and stuff. So I've had to learn how to
don't you ever want to just sit back and digest what you've eaten on your plate?
Sometimes and sometimes not. I've learned a lot probably since high school. High school, I was really bad at just like filling up my plate. But since then, I've learned to kind of cut back and take time for myself because you have to or you're going to kill yourself,
Yeah,
and that was really hard to do.
I think true.
The biggest lesson I ever learned, too, is that you can make all these things and you have all these things, but like if you don't spend time to share that with somebody you love, no matter whoever it is, it doesn't mean a damn thing.
Right.
So that's probably the best lessons I ever learned, and that's helped me kind of take some things off my plate. Yeah. But I still have that.
So, and I'm going to say right off the top for all three of us, this has been a trying year.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Cole has been very ill this year. He's gone through some sickness. Our Rick has also been ill. Rick and I both lost someone close to us. He's lost his father recently. I lost my father-in-law. And it's been a very trying year, and to manage all of that as well, it makes you sit back and take a look at like what's important. And sometimes, there's some things that we do, and we do for other people that we don't have to do. And, and it's hard to say no, but over the last couple of years, I've gotten pretty good at it, and it's given me a lot more time to work on things that I care about.
So y'all talk to me and help me for just a minute. Then.
Okay.
Because Rob, you just mentioned the fact that I'd been ill. Had affection in my arm. Mm-hmm. My right arm is my photography arm. It's my camera arm. And during the same time that I'm going through that, I'm losing my father. Right. We know he's going to pass. And my dad did things his way, and he took his time getting there, But during this process, I have the ability to be semi-creative, but you go through so many things. I'm sitting at home with yet nothing to do.
Yeah.
My office is there. My computer's there. There's nothing stopping me from getting up and coming up with ideas, plans, outlines for future products or projects. But the drive's not there. Is that wrong?
No.
I
don't
look
think
at
so.
it in a sense as 6 to 7 wasted weeks. Because when you're a truck driver and you're only ever home 2 days a week, when you're back to work, you really want to have. You're always dreaming about having that time at home, and you can't get
Yeah.
nothing done.
I think, actually, I've been through this quite a bit, even after my mother passed and everything, and how important it is for that downtime. I kind of call it the emotional dump. Sometimes you've run so thin for so long that time is really important, and to actually take it. I'm glad you did, honestly, because it's going to rejuvenate you. Just for example, and this is a much more minor thing than what you're talking about, but we have been running nonstop with especially I got an animation crew. They're doing a fantastic job. They're doing the work of 20 people, and there's 4 of them, and they have been running nonstop since we started school. And a few weeks, and I mean, they're making lots of mistakes. They have to keep redoing some shots. They're fighting amongst each other. I mean, and they're a close knit group, but they can't even stand to look at each other most days. And so this one weekend, we really had a 3-day weekend, and they wanted to get some stuff done. I told them we're taking it off. No one's coming in. I'm not opening the door. And they got really mad at me about that because they're like, I just want it over. I just want to get it done. And I was like, you're not in the right frame of mind to create right now.
Yeah.
And after that 3 days, we came back, and I mean, we had a great week. They just knocked stuff out. They had a chance to just process things, get a break. And I think the time off is just as important as the time on, and you need to stick to that. This week, I'm not doing a single thing for work.
Yeah.
I'm doing these things that I want to do, things that we wanted to do for a long time, and this is my dump time. And I think also for you,
school's out, right?
School's out this
Yeah.
whole week. Yeah. Now we got 9 days off, and so I got 8 more counting today. I'm counting them down, unfortunately, but
The sad countdown.
and it's that countdown. So, but also for you, it's that emotional. You went through the emotional thing, but it's real easy for that to fall into something that lasts longer if you're not careful. For me, I fell into a depression for a good amount of time, and I had a hard time coming back from that. And there was seriously a full year there that I just didn't create. I mean, my students that year, I feel bad for them because I wasn't the same me that I normally am, and I don't know if we bonded like I normally do with my students. And so I'm glad you're back so soon. I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
I felt like you feel like you wasted all that time. I think it was good for you.
I was at a point in my semi-professional career because, definitions of professional, but I don't classify myself as a professional.
Yeah.
My photography, my video learning it's hobby for me.
I think we classify ourselves as independent
Yeah.
because no one wants us, but
But I was
Yeah.
I was to the point where I was just getting excited. I had just launched my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I had a plan for things that I could do, and then within a week it seemed like it all collapsed. And I've gone through October and now most of November, and I don't have the drive or the ability in some aspects to perform.
Yeah.
I feel it start to come back. Going out last night, doing a photo shoot helped. I've got another one tonight.
yeah.
Those are going to help drive, but I'm still having a hard time
Oh, it's
getting the creative juices
yeah.
flowing
I don't think
the
it's.
way that they
I
need
think you took time off. I don't think it's going to happen overnight. I don't think you're going to wake up and be
Yeah.
boom back at it, and you probably shouldn't be. You need to gradually get back in, especially with being ill.
I mean, Rome, I kind of have the same problems with my YouTube channel too. I mean, like it's still growing, still figuring out my target audience and stuff like that. And so you just
That's
have
a
to.
challenge, isn't
It
it?
Yeah.
is. It's absolutely a challenge.
You just have
know what
to.
you want to do.
You just have to. I mean, I would love to have 700 subscribers tomorrow. That'd be awesome. But
Well,
you
it
got
took me a year.
I
You also
love
gotta-
that 50.
You also got to. Well, I'm less than 50.
He has less than you do.
Yeah. And I have like 500 views on one of my wedding videos, but it's whatever. Anyway. Yeah, so you just have to, I think you just have to sit back and realize that like Rome wasn't built in a day and stuff. And so you're not going to be able to build something really successful in just 4 weeks or whatever it's going to be. It's going to take some time. Like you just said, what, a year to get?
I spent a year, and I didn't really focus on anything other than just creating content. And
Yeah.
I have 700. And
I mean, Rob's
some
putting
on.
out just random stuff out there, and it took him a year
I don't even know what I've got.
to get
I'll look it up.
whatever. The Russians and stuff coming.
Yeah, I had some Russians
To-
that like 200 Russians really liked me. I as of right now, at 750 subscribers. That took me a full year, and I've created almost 39 videos. I mean,
Yeah.
And honestly, I probably could have created twice that if, life wasn't in the way.
Yeah.
But
that's not going to change.
and so it's not going to, you're right. It's not going to change. So I have to accept, like we were talking earlier, we just have to accept what we can do and we can't do and do our best. I've got 10, 15 videos right now sitting on a hard drive. Just need to get them done. Really,
like
I have not
Instagram
monetized anything. I've not made a single penny off anything I've done on my channel. I've spent money, but I haven't made a single penny off anything. I don't know when I will, if I do, I mean, because I do it to me, it's almost like I'm paying myself for creating the content, and I just feel good for doing
But
it.
don't you want to get there?
Yeah, I mean, I would love to get there, but I probably won't start throwing commercials on anything unless I get 100,000 subscribers, because I mean, before that, I feel like, and I watched one of Casey Neistat's videos years ago. It was probably about a year and a half ago, right before I started, and he said, "Don't rush to monetize." He said a couple things are going to happen at that point, and one of those is people are, until you're a really known person, people don't want to sit through commercials, and so you're going to lose people. As soon as a commercial comes up, like change, you have to have a relationship with your audience. I'm in no hurry to monetize, but everybody does their own thing.
Isn't just commercials.
No, sure,
Yeah.
absolutely not. I'm saying when I'm saying monetization right now, I do mean commercials. I mean the AdSense. I'm not saying that my channel hasn't helped me make money because people will see it and they're like, hey, I want to hire you to do something. I'm just saying that I've not AdSensed it or anything like that, and I'm not going to for a long time. Yeah. Now that's each person. It might be different for other people, and it might be different for other types of content. I think some content, for example, how-to videos, when you're doing just strictly how-to videos, like or things that are like really popular, or maybe even equipment reviews, depending on the review and how you're doing it, it's good to go ahead and do that because people are going to be in the middle of fixing something like a phone screen or something or whatever you're doing, and then they're going to have to watch the rest of the video to finish. So yeah, you're going to get the AdSense off that.
Yeah.
But if they have a choice to be like, oh, I don't want to listen to his story, and most everything I do is really story based. Now, I do reviews and I do camera work, but mine is story based. I feel like everything's still off the story. If it was up to me, I would just do stories. I would just not just vlogs. I mean, I like the vlogs too, but I would just tell stories. I've got to add other stuff in there to get people to pay attention. Give them a reason to click on Rob for Films.
It's not the face.
Yeah, it's definitely not what I look like, unless they're like wanting a good laugh. But I think me making fun of myself and just being a good sport about it does make a pretty big difference. I think.
Todd.
Yeah, and I don't mind making fun of Todd, and that's the thing. Okay, so Todd, that's a whole other thing.
I think that's the thing about content, though. People don't want to tune in unless you're making fun of yourself or somebody else.
Yeah,
people just crave that.
I buy that.
Yeah, people crave that, making fun of people.
Yeah, and they got to benefit in some way, and if it makes them feel better about themselves by making fun of me, I'm okay with that. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
That's as and that goes back to my background as being a teacher. I've never been that teacher that was super sweet to everyone.
Of course not.
Cole will tell you, I'm pretty mean to them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but I don't ever do it in a way that like hurts them necessarily. Like because I also make fun of myself, and if they give me crap back, I don't care. It's kind of our relationship that we build.
Yeah.
It's my relationship with people, and I've really tried to figure out how to market that into my channel, and that's what I'm working on right now. I'm trying to figure out how you get my one-on-one relationship in that kind of thing. I don't know. I think I'm getting better at it, but I'm definitely not there yet.
Yeah, I don't know where I want to go yet.
And that's again, yeah, and that's the other thing. That's like this podcast. That's like this podcast. Cole and I have talked about doing this forever, and we could never decide on what to do it about because we both have so many different things that we like to do.
Aspects of life, yeah.
Yeah, and things that we just want to talk about family because you really need a niche to draw in an audience, and once you get the following, you can do anything you want, but to get that following is the hard part. And so we actually we kind of copped out, to be honest. This is called Things.
Yeah.
And so literally it's anything. And so
anything.
Well, in Cole's first podcast is called The Reach Around, which means he reaches around to different topics. Mostly they stick with sports and movies and things like that.
I did not come up with that name, by the way.
But, yeah, and that name is absolutely
Tristan Willard and Emmett Crabtree.
I believe that. And so it sounds
I just signed off on it, but
it sounds kind of terrible, but at the same time, and it's a little bit of a cop out too. But we don't really know what we want to do, and so we're using this particular podcast as a framework for us to try different things and see if there's something that clicks with an audience, clicks with us, and then maybe we might change that and pursue that.
Sure.
Only,
But in the meantime, this is a good way to do.
Both you guys are entertaining. I've seen him.
I
do
try
stuff.
to be.
I mean, I used to, well, I still subscribe, but there's nothing new coming out on Tomahawk News, of course.
Right.
Oh yeah,
And
I
I've
used to do
seen you
that.
in a couple of his videos.
We started that out so I guess I can say, well, I was pretty much like the lead producer of that thing for like 2 years. So
Yeah.
I guess we kind of built that up. I'm kind of sad that I don't even know what do y'all do with that anymore. I haven't been watching.
So basically,
It
it's
died.
a yeah,
It
it's
died.
It did.
I don't think it's
Aw,
dead.
that's sad.
I think
dead.
I think it's on hiatus.
Hiatus.
So basically, the Tomahawk TV News is a class, and that class is AV production broadcast.
Yeah, I know.
had
I
like
took it.
2 kids that signed up for that class, and then I had like 40 kids that signed up for movie. Well, we couldn't dedicate an entire class for 2 kids, and so we made them all movie classes. And those 2 kids that wanted to do broadcast, they were okay with doing movie because it was close.
Yeah,
So
that's how most people.
yeah,
are.
and I had a really strong group of kids that carried after you left, Cole, and they just graduated.
Yeah.
and I didn't. I'll be honest. I didn't really work real hard to
You graduated
recruit.
when?
2016.
60.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I didn't push real hard for those kids to come and really, and I'll do that this year at the end of the year. I'll start pushing for kids to take broadcast again next year. So it'll be back next year. There's certain things that worked and certain
Rick's
things that
shaking his
didn't. Yeah, I
head
know
no.
he's saying no. But it will be certain things that worked, certain things that didn't. I'm going to do it in a very different way though, where I focused on being a traditional newscast. Sometimes we have to evolve. I'm going to focus the class on being more of a YouTube news.
Well,
And so I think kids will want to jump on that more.
when I was in high school, we didn't treat it really as a traditional newscast.
Well-
It was kind of like an entertainment.
Yeah, and
Show.
and it
But
was.
it came across as a tradition.
I mean, there
Yeah.
were some of us
We-
that tried to be
we-
like traditional news. Me sometimes,
Right.
But I mean, we had like that weekly viral thing. That was actually
Right.
probably one of our best segments.
It was. It did really well. And even Kieran's old movie dumpster did pretty well. I just
Yeah.
got to find some kids that are interested and have the ability to do that, to do real reviews. I don't want it to be like a big joke necessarily. I want it to be good information, but I think I'm going to do a little less maybe over here, and maybe have them kind of create their own little areas, little sets, like little YouTube channel sets, and kind of sell it as a YouTube.
I mean, the best thing I ever did was
news.
tell people that they didn't have to use the desk.
Very true,
I
because that
felt
was
like
boring. Using the
everybody
desk.
was awkward using the desk. I even
Yeah.
stopped using the desk.
Yeah,
I was like,
stand
you
up
don't
and
have
move
to use
around.
the desk.
Yeah, and I think the desk is okay for the anchor, but I wouldn't want anybody else behind it.
Yeah, Morgan should have been the only one probably using
Yeah.
the desk.
And that, I went to that later. I don't know if you noticed that or not. I did. Only the anchor used the desk in sequential years.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it'll be back. It'll be back bigger and better than ever. It's just we go through these stages, and just like there's those rebuilding years for coaches. I mean,
Yeah.
just definitely the same for me, for Carla, for One Act, and so we'll just work that direction.
Yeah, that was kind of like, well, Tom, I guess NHS digital media was probably my first foray into like managing a YouTube channel or something like that. Because
Right.
most people don't know, I made y'all's actual Facebook page. I made that page
Yeah, the one we use to this day.
on set of Days Go By.
Yeah.
Because you were just like, oh, I don't know, I don't want to do that. Just make it and add me as an admin.
Yeah,
I was like, okay.
I still don't like to manage it.
Yeah, I mean,
I
so
also
I
let
gave
Todd
it-
do it. And he just puts pictures up there.
I gave it over to Todd.
Yeah,
when I
I don't
left.
even know the login for it, to be honest. So I'm
Well,
okay
it's
with
just
that.
It's just a page. You just go. It's
Yeah,
just your Facebook.
is it connected to like somebody else? See, I don't have Facebook, so I don't even have a connection to it.
So you make
You don't have Facebook?
administrators. So you have administrators of pages, and so
Yes.
it's just your regular Facebook login. But
Okay, so that's how Todd's getting in. Is his
Yeah,
Facebook
he just
login.
clicks
I got
on
you.
it.
Yeah, no, I don't have. I got rid of Facebook a year ago. Well, it'll be a year ago at Christmas. So it's coming up pretty quick. For me, it was freeing to get rid of it because I spent a lot of time on there, and it was always really negative. And I would have a great day. I'd get on Facebook, and I would get in a really crappy mood. And I just got tired of being that way. And it was around Christmas, and I was moaning and groaning about something, and my kids are just sitting over there looking at me, and I thought, man, I'm deleting this. And it took me a week, but I finally deleted it, and I have no regrets.
I wish I could delete mine.
I wish I could have kept my contacts for Messenger. I exported them over, but for some reason it didn't export correctly, and so there's some people
Well,
that I don't have a way
if
to
you don't have Facebook,
Yeah.
Messenger won't work.
right.
Yeah.
Correctly.
But I mean, like I made like an Excel document that saved everybody's numbers and stuff. But anyway, but I lost a few contacts that way, which people I wouldn't mind contacting sometimes. But for the good and the bad, I think the good outweighed it. And again, that was my personal choice. I don't know that I would tell anyone else to do that. It was just I noticed that I was spending too much time on there, and I was being too negative. And
Well,
Not
it's
for me.
almost a necessary evil for me and Rick because
Right.
of the wedding videos and then his
Sure.
photography. I mean,
Sure. I mean, and that's
Yeah,
how
how
you
you my
contact people.
business.
Yeah,
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
So
And so
it's unfortunate.
And I mean, if it wasn't for Todd and some other people having Facebook that we have to use, then that's fine. But it was, it's like to me, it became kind of a little bit of an addiction. And
Facebook?
Yeah, I spent. I mean,
Back in the
I
day,
had.
maybe.
I started looking at the. You have on your iPhone at the bottom. It tells you how much time you spend on different things.
Yeah.
I mean, I was spending several hours a day on there. And when I got rid of that, I got several hours more of work done. And more time with my family, quality time with my family, not just me grunting. And again, it's just a few people. I'm sure this is a really negative people. Like no matter what you do, like especially for being a teacher, there's those people in the community. No matter how hard you work for their kid.
Gonna hate you.
They just hate you, and they hate the school.
That's-
And it wasn't even
that's how
necessarily
life
directly
is.
at me. It was directly at people that I work with that I know are working their butts off, and they're just hating on them.
That kind of stuff's hard.
That just
I will
infuriates me to no end, and it eats at me, and I can't sleep at night. And because I want to fix things. I'm a fixer. I can't fix that.
You can't. Yeah, you can't. You
So
can't fix
you know what
hatred.
though?
That's
If I
just
don't
how
know
it
what's
is.
going on, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah,
I was never one of those people that think ignorance is great, but I'm kind of getting there now. I'm like, okay,
getting there.
yeah, I'm getting there.
I just stay out of all that stuff. I mean, it's not worth it anymore.
So
People are so.
I have the luxury, one of the very few luxuries as a teacher, that I have a couple months off during the summer that I don't have to teach, and I don't have to
Yeah.
really do anything for work if I don't want to. I'm not that guy. I'm the one that's up here
Must
every
be
day.
nice.
Yeah, I'm up here every day because I'm an idiot and I'm not getting paid for it. But I've decided that this summer I'm going to do 4 weeks. I'm working it out in schedule. I'm not going to go on any family stuff, and my family's okay with this. We worked it out. I had to bribe them with their own little vacations, but 4 weeks, and I'm going to be a full-time YouTuber. And in that time, I'm going to see how much I can get done. It's a challenge, and I'm going to daily vlog.
Daily
Daily vlog, but not.
There are people that do that.
itself is challenging.
Yeah, but
I'm
when I say daily vlog, though, I'm not going to put out like an extensive daily vlog like Casey Neistat. I'm gonna do a daily update.
See, I have no
vlog.
idea who that is.
That's crazy. Like you need to look up Casey.
I'm not a big. I'm not a big you. Okay, so
Well,
I
he's
make
a storyteller.
YouTube content, but
He-
I don't.
He's not
listen to
known for his
YouTube stuff.
amazing camera ability. He's
Yeah.
known for his stories. His life and his stories and the way he sells his content is really cool. You definitely need to check him out. I think you would enjoy him, Cole. I didn't know you didn't know who he was.
I don't know who like 100% of YouTubers are. So
Anyway,
that's
so
whatever.
but he's just one of those things you can relax and you could just like binge watch this stuff. I'm just going to do kind of a daily update, but I'm also going to edit my other content, and I'm going to make videos in for products, and I'm going to do all of that. But I'm going to do little quick updates every day. It might be a minute or two of saying this is where I'm at, this is how I'm going so far, just to get an inside look at what it takes to daily vlog, and not necessarily make an extensive daily vlog, but just to be a YouTuber and be a full-time YouTuber, and just to see what it's like, because I want that experience just to know. I don't know that that's ever going to really be an option for me year round, but I think if I could do that and maybe kind of get some of that creative stuff out of my system so that I can focus more on my other jobs too.
You don't want to burn
Sometimes
yourself
my
out,
mind's-
though.
Yeah, I'm right. And so, I mean, I'm just going to give it a shot and kind of just see where it goes. And I'm really excited about it, and we've worked it out at home. And so just I'm going to be a full-time creator. And again, like anybody else, I mean, musicians, artists, there's downtime. I mean, anybody. I mean, unless you're James Patterson, I mean, I'm pretty sure that you don't write a book every day. So
Probably not. No,
that guy, I don't know how that guy does it. He puts out 15, 20 new books a year.
he has to probably like work on multiple books at multiple times, which sounds awful.
And I will say this though, Cole, I feel like there's a benefit if I were to group up with someone else YouTube wise. Like I really want
I
a
agree with that
partnership.
benefit.
I really want a partnership because I feel like if we could work together, we could get so much more done. Especially
agree.
especially somebody to help me with editing too.
Yeah,
I mean, if I had the money, I would hire me a full time editor. Not that I don't love editing. I do love editing, and I'd want to be a part. I would be a part of the. I want to be a part of that process to tell the story that I want them to tell.
Yeah.
But just to dedicate that kind of time, I would have to pay somebody.
Well,
I don't
in
have
order
it.
to do that, you're going to have to monetize your account.
True.
Well, I'm the same way. I mean, I've talked to you multiple times. I actually really do enjoy making wedding videos, and if I could just do that like the rest of my life, I probably would. But
Are you doing the filming?
yeah, I do the filming.
Do you
I've
watch
done
Who
it-
Is Matt?
Who?
Who is Matt? What's his name? What is Matt? Who is Matt?
I have no idea. Who that
Oh,
is.
okay. Hold on. You keep going. I'm gonna run
Okay,
that up.
well, I love making wedding videos, and I'm actually getting more business now, which is cool. Hopefully, I have one in July. But
I hate making wedding videos.
yeah, you hate it, but
I love making videos.
Right now, I'm doing that all by myself. But like, if I could just do that forever, and then like have like a production home or something, have a landline, just do all that. If I had all the money in the world, that's probably what I would do. But I would
Who's
do
Matt Johnson? Do you know that?
I have no idea who that guy
If you're
is.
not following him and you want to be a wedding guy, this is the guy.
Well,
he's the king of weddings.
I watch Wedding Film School.
Right.
Well,
Like,
yeah.
he's
I mean,
amazing.
Wedding Film School, what it does, it takes you through all their equipment that they're using.
He has his own,
which I have no
right.
money to buy. But,
Right.
you know,
Well,
I like looking
he has
at
his
it.
own tutorials and stuff like that. I've been following this guy for a couple years. I don't even like doing wedding stuff.
Yeah.
But he does great product reviews as well. That he only makes wedding videos. He makes no other content. But he has his examples on there, which are great examples.
Yeah.
But yeah, who is Matt Johnson? I'm gonna plug that guy real quick. Not that he needs it. He's probably got millions and millions.
So
of
this
subscribers.
one
He
here,
doesn't need this
Martin
from
and
us.
Elizabeth.
That's the
your
one I recently
secondhand
did. I did
house.
that in September, and I had the same problem with the blown out sky on that one too, and I could not fix it. But I'm
Fixing it in a picture and fixing a video are very
yeah,
different.
I'm dealing in poor college student stuff, so I'm still working on
Cole
things.
just got a new camera last.
Yeah, that was
new
random.
to him. He
That
got
was
got a
random.
Canon
Let
70.
me guess, you got a Nikon, bro.
No, we're not Nikon people.
No, I like the Canon. They shoot better video, but
Got
yeah.
a 70D from a
we're
friend
just
last night.
visiting a friend, and he's just like, you know anybody that wants a Canon 70D?
Well, he actually asked me.
Yeah.
And I pointed at Cole, who's standing next to me. He's like, right there, that guy.
Yeah. I mean, I felt bad for Kieran because Kieran probably wanted it too. But, I mean, I'm going to pay him for something for it, but it was
Yeah.
just ridiculous. He's just like, yeah, I
was-
just have this
it was
Canon
the
70.
greatest
70D,
thing.
good video camera.
Yeah, 70D. And I was just like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm using an 80 right now, and it's almost the same camera, and it's a good camera. Yeah. It definitely
Yeah, I've
good
got
for
an
video.
80D.
Yeah. Use one as well.
For the most part,
And he's strictly Canon. I'm whatever works for the job. The only Nikon I like is the Z6, but I couldn't use it for everything.
the
that I
Nikon
do.
Z6 is pretty good. I'm not going to
Yeah,
lie. When we took it out there.
They've
I-
come a long way with that mirrorless.
I haven't had a chance to use it because I missed the Turner Falls.
Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah.
We
Well,
missed
if I
you
thought
out
you
there.
had any time at all, I would just loan you one and let you use it.
Rob wanted to do a quick tidbit on Canon man uses Nikon for
Canon
the first
man
time.
uses Nikon.
Yeah.
Well, Todd's a Nikon.
He's
man.
that's all he uses. He can't
Yeah,
use a
he's
Canon.
got a hat and everything.
He can't.
I had a hat. I
be-
gave it away.
He can't be converted, taught, and brought to common sense to walk away from.
No,
Nikon.
he loves the Nikon too much.
Yeah, I mean, I would if I had it my way, it'd probably be Sony though.
Yeah, and again, I love Sony. So I would say 90% Sony, 5% Canon,
Yeah.
and
I would love
1%,
to have
and then
all the
whatever
money
else
in
I
the
can
world
find.
and
My
just
phone.
buy everything that I want.
The luxury of my job is that we get new equipment every year, and I get to choose the equipment that we use, and so I have a chance to try a lot of different brands out.
The
I love
equipment I have been using for my weddings though, I don't know if you probably know. I've been skimping because I'm poor, but I have a Canon EOS T6i Rebel, and that's what I've been using, which is pretty much an entry camera.
Right.
But it's done really well for me. I mean, I wish I had other features that I could use, which is why I'm excited about the 70D. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been working on. So I did 2 weddings with that, just a monopod and then a cheap gimbal.
So,
But
Rick,
I
Rick,
thought
do
they
you do
turned
a
out
lot
pretty
of
well.
weddings?
I've actually tried to avoid.
Yeah, I don't like weddings, and so
I love weddings. I don't know what it is.
I wish.
I think
wish
I'm just
could
a
get you
rom-com fan or something.
Maybe, and so I wish, like I'm happy to send anybody that wants a wedding to you, Cole.
Yeah, please
and-
pay me to do your wedding.
Yeah, so that's the problem is everybody wants you to do their wedding for free.
What I would like to be able to do, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to review Cole's video that he released on his YouTube channel, Secondhand Mouse. I want to look at that just to look at some of the quality, because what I would like doing is weddings with someone else.
Right. This might be a good partnership right here.
Because it's difficult enough, in my opinion, as a newer photographer, an aged photographer, but newer photographer, to ensure that you're getting all the importance of the wedding, especially for the bride.
Right.
There's so many must-get
No,
shots.
that's the reason
Yes.
I hate weddings.
That you have to
I don't wanna
focus
script their
on those
day.
things, and you casually let those casual things that are happening, which are
Yeah.
just fantastic, you let them go. You
Yeah.
don't have the video running that catches that.
Right.
And you're refocusing and you've missed that moment because you're on something else with the camera. You're focused on those ring shots when yet something behind you is going on
Yeah.
that's captivating. And you can't take your camera from a photography mode to a video mode and get what you're wanting. You need to be in partnership.
Well, you know what? I didn't think about this till right now, but you two would make a great set of partners.
When I go into the wedding, though, I kind of have an idea of what I want it to look like. And, my first wedding that I did by myself, I had a lot of access to the bride, and that's kind of what determines it. I mean, it depends on what the bride wants. Some
and
of
the
the
couple
bride
that
is
I've
just
done,
like,
I've been lucky enough to have that as well.
yeah,
it
so
makes a difference.
The second wedding, she wanted more photography. And the thing that you also learn when you're shooting weddings like that is that the photographers usually hate you if you're a videographer there. They don't want you anywhere because you're going to mess up their shot, you know? Because I'm trying to do the same thing, but just through video.
Yeah, but so you guys working together.
Yeah, I mean,
It's like...
the
And so here-
This may
so-
be something to consider,
yeah.
young Mr.
Yeah.
So,
Cole.
so all right. So let me throw this out there too, from what because I know you guys don't know each other that well, but I know both of you decently well. So it sounds like to me, this guy right here, I promise you, has all the equipment you could ever need to do video or audio. He's got
Yeah.
everything. You have none.
I
He
have
needs help.
bare minimum.
You need jobs. This sounds like a perfect marriage of couples right here. This,
Yeah,
this is a marriage
we
of
may have
itself.
solved a problem.
I'm
here.
sadly unemployed
And
in
I'm going to
2
tell you right
weeks.
now, Rick, you're not going to find a harder worker than this guy. He's at it.
I mean-
And you know what? The things you can learn too, even about photography, is going to help you with your video. Because I know working with Todd has helped me tremendously
Well,
with lighting.
I told Todd the other day, I mean, I didn't respect his class when I took it in high school,
Yeah.
but it's probably been the class that I needed the most because it taught me, not that you didn't teach me anything
yeah.
about cameras, but it taught me,
I know more now than I did then.
it taught me that basically every camera can be manipulated basically the same way and how lighting works and stuff like that.
And that doesn't
really
that
helped
really
me.
doesn't matter about brand. I mean,
Yeah,
you
so
can still get an
ISO,
image.
the ISO and stuff like that, I didn't care about that back then, but now I'm like, oh, I have to really focus on that. And Todd was trying to teach us that, but we were
weren't picking
falling
up.
on deaf ears.
You know, it's the technical things that people are not interested in. But when you remember that in photography and video alone, it's all about light.
Yeah.
It's all about
That's
light.
that's all any of it
And
is light.
When you start to think about the fact that it's light, ISO, f-stops, shutter speed, these are all those things that adjust your lights. Then it becomes that common sense factor. Hey, I need to learn what these things can do. I need to know what my ISO limits are.
Yeah.
On my particular camera body and style to prevent that noise and get that good quality product and be there. It's all about light,
Yeah, absolutely.
which I have plenty of, Cole.
Yeah, I'm seriously though. Maybe we should run over there to your house
Yeah.
today and you show him some of your stuff, man.
Yeah,
it's amazing. He has a full production trailer.
That's great.
My trailer's hooked up to my
Fantastic.
pickup truck right now.
Or now
'cause I've
outside?
got-
Yeah.
No, not.
Okay.
It's not here. I actually almost brought it because
That'd have been cool.
I didn't want to drive Addie's Tahoe over here.
Yeah,
But
Addie probably didn't want you driving his Tahoe.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
he's gone somewhere right now.
I mean, we've been talking about the studio too, and I'm interested in
Is he coming in?
getting involved with that.
He wants
too.
in, yeah. Like if we can, so that's one more person.
Yeah.
Again, it would depend on a few things. He doesn't live here right now. He lives in Denton,
Yeah.
and he's looking to get a job. Don't know what
Depending
he's.
on where.
Well, he's
I don't know what
applied
I'm
at like
doing yet.
Channel 3 and some other
Yeah.
places, and he's
I've
willing
applied-
to take a job.
I
pretty
was
much.
going to apply to be an administrative assistant to the DA, but somebody got it before me. But that's okay.
Unfortunately, that's all right.
Unfortunately,
Cole would have done a great
But
job.
I've applied to other places too. I'm just
and,
waiting.
and I'm
to
trying
hear
to talk
back
Cole
from
into
them.
teaching. So I mean,
And you graduate when?
I graduate in 2 weeks, so I'm unemployed in 2
14th.
weeks.
I'm pumped.
Yeah.
Same place I graduated from 15 years ago.
North Texas.
North Texas, same building. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. Me go first.
Yeah, go first. I'll change it later.
You'll change it.
I want to see what you say. I, don't
I just
really
say,
know.
hey, thanks for watching. I'm Cole Jackson. You find me at Secondhand Mouse Productions, YouTube, Facebook. We're gonna film the last episode of the Reach Around soon, I guess. I don't know. Got to get those guys together. You can listen to that. Pay me, do your wedding. There you go. That's all you got to do.
So thanks for listening to Things, our very first episode. This has been Rob Norman, and
Cole Jackson.
R.D. Baker.
we're going to try to do these regularly. I make no promises, but we're going to try to do
Hope
these
so.
regularly. I think it was fun. So check me out on Anchor, possibly Spotify, and
Apple.
Apple at some point. It just depends on when we get
Podcasts.
there. And please share this if you thought it was interesting.
Artie
Is there like to
Baker-
leave comments?
Artie Baker Photos isn't on
Yeah.
any podcasts and et cetera, but
Yeah.
you can look up Artie Baker Photos on all other forms of social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and website, artiebakerphotos.com.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you check me out on YouTube at Rob4Films if you want to see this beautiful face.
No one does.
We may actually start publishing these. Do we need to make another YouTube channel just for this, or we can put them on our own? What do
Put
you
them
wanna
on
do?
your own.
You can put it on yours. It's not gonna bother me.
Okay. I have no idea what we're doing. Let me show you he made us some little album art. It's pretty funny.
It looks cool. I'm just now getting into like graphic design and stuff like that. So I'm still working
What
on
do
it.
you
When
think
you
of-
didn't want to do it as a sophomore, right?
No, but you have to do it when you
have to
make
do a little-
content.
I mean, I could do some. I just
Yeah.
want to enjoy it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So let's just
cool.
we'll start it out with that, and we'll go from there. I think that's going to be pretty cool. So he didn't have the hat at first, and I had my bald head. I was like, put a hat on him.
I thought it looked good.
I liked it, but I thought, I'm kind of known for the hat.
No,
That's kind of my thing. No, everybody knows the hat, Cole.
nobody knows the hat.
Everybody knows the hat. When I'm not wearing it, they're like, you kind of look like, no, it can't be. You don't have the
A
hat.
Q-tip?
All right. I'm ending this now. Bye.
Why would you look outside yourself when you have all of the world inside?